On today's edition of Cronkite Sports Live, Sun Devil women's basketball went on a big run in the Big 12 tournament, earned a spot in the big dance in March Madness, but came up short in the first four. We'll walk you through everything that happened.
In Arizona State baseball, one of the hottest teams in Tempe, 9 straight games with a home run, another dub against TCU on Tuesday night. All that and more coming up right after this.
And Aiden, Arizona State softball has also been on a roll, took the series win against the Oklahoma State Cowgirls. Now a ranked T-Cup matchup in Tucson coming up. All that, so much more. We're back from spring break, CSL right now. Hello and welcome inside Studio 6 for another edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Jacob Brooks, and alongside me for the first time, the two of us together, sophomore year roommates, junior year sharing the anchor desk, it's the one and only Aiden O'Neill. Aiden, it was St. Patrick's Day this week. Seems like we both got the memo with the green ties. How are you doing, man?
Oh, doing really well. Spring break was absolutely amazing. The ties were looking fly up here, but what do they say? I used to pray for times like this. Like, that's true, man. We were manifesting this, and now coming to fruition.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sun Devil women's basketball fans were probably feeling the same way heading into year one of the Molly Miller era. In the Big 12 tournament, we missed a lot over spring break. They went on a run. Let's recap it. First half, first game against the U of A Wildcats. U of A was getting it going in the first half, but in the second half, ASU was able to come alive. Here's Amaya Williams with the clutch mid-range jumper right here. Helps ASU secure a narrow victory in round one, 54-51. They sweep their top rivals on the year. Now in the second round against Iowa State. Similar first half, back and forth, just like game one against the Wildcats, but in the second half is when ASU would completely come alive. An offensive explosion, if you will. Gabby Elliott driving to the cup and one, gets the bucket. Look at Iowa State. They're completely flustered. Sun Devils get the win, 77-68. That win almost guaranteed them that berth into March Madness. Now in the third round quarterfinals against West Virginia. In the first half, West Virginia proved to be a tougher opponent. ASU playing catch up. There's Amaya Williams again there on the smooth reverse layup. And in the second half, West Virginia would take over. They would get the win, go on to win the whole tournament. Final score 67-54. Here's Molly Miller after the loss.
I learned that culture wins. It's won everywhere I've been. Culture doesn't win unless you have buy-in, though. And so the fact that I could bring strangers together and have our players be 2 feet in, ready to learn a totally new system. They were all freshmen in the system. How challenging is that to put freshmen together, a whole team of freshmen that was new to the system, and go out and accomplish what we accomplished?
Molly Miller looked into the committee's eyes into that camera and said, we belong in this tournament after the Big 12 tournament. But they sat on the couch. They were the last team in. All this anticipation. Molly Miller even got sick before heading to Iowa and showed up late. But how did they rally? One last dance with the Sun Devils. How can you possibly go on? They took on Virginia the first 4, and in the first quarter, it was neck and neck. Step back 3, Cavaliers up on top, 8-4 in the first quarter. But the name of the game all season long, Jacob, has been ASU hanging around. One of their leaders, Marley Washnitz. She had herself a game, knocking down that trifecta. To the second, Arizona State. You lean on Gabby Elliott, always that primary ball handler. A flare screen coming off of it, picking and popping McKenna Brackens, knocking it home, staying attached. How close can you get? Third quarter, up 3 is Virginia, dumping tight defense, but the lefty hook goes. The Cavaliers kept this gap, and Arizona State was struggling. A small deficit now. McKenna Brackens, Marley Washnitz coming off the pick, knocking down the corner 3, staying scorching hot, but you got to get a hand up. It's the name of the game. It's the best player for Virginia. They go on to win it. Arizona State just falls short, but still an incredible season, all in all. Now to baseball. ASU took on crosstown rival Grand Canyon. And Jacob, those Antelopes, they can really play. And although ASU is the overwhelming favorite, they hung around all night long. Easton Barrett, though, who struggled so far this season, got it going. Couple of punch outs early. Later, though, a base hit into left field. Grand Canyon takes the lead 1-0. That's Max Charles. Troy Sanders comes in and scores. Hitting that celly at first base is Charles. Later, GCU makes it 2-0. Jake Sanko with a bunt to drive in a run, but the Devils never count them out. Dean Toigo, UNLV transfer, one of the best hitters in the Big 12, off the national championship scoreboard. With how they're playing, Jacob, they're going to maybe want another one of those and get another trip to Omaha. To the bottom of the 7th, ball's driven deep to right center. Cohen Nikolai showing off the depth of these Devils, tying the game at 3-all after GCU had that 2-run lead. 405 feet that was. You want extra baseball midweek, Tuesday night? Where else would you rather be than the Muni? Finn Edwards comes in out of the pen. 3 punch outs in the top of the 10th, and if there was already enough madness, Cohen Nikolai off the base, left fielder kicks it, Smaldino comes in and scores. It's a parade in center field. 4-3 the final, 15-5 overall of the Devils. Here's Willie Bloomquist.
It's called a team at the end of the day. There's going to be days where our offense is swinging the heck out of it and we ain't pitching great, and there's going to be days where we're pitching the heck out of it and we aren't swinging great. So the bottom line is find a way to win. When things aren't going good, find a way to win, and that's what our guys did tonight.
As Aiden described, ASU's wild walk-off win over GCU improved its record to 15-5, and the bats swinging at a nationally elite level have been the fuel to that record's flame. Our Colgan Herschel has more on the Devils' brilliance behind the plate in a unique edition of By the Numbers the baseball film junkies are gonna love.
As former Oakland Athletics assistant GM Peter Brand said in the classic movie Moneyball, your goal shouldn't be to buy players. Your goal should be to buy wins. In order to buy wins, you need to buy runs. Well, manager Willie Bloomquist has turned ones into runs. As a team, ASU has homered in 9 straight games, and the Sun Devils' Big 12 leading 41 homers put them top 10 in the nation. When ASU records a run, you can bet more will come. The Maroon and Gold have 14 frames with 5 or more runs, including 4 with 8 or more. These explosive innings and hits have been in quantity, but quality hits are also at bat for ASU. And thanks to ASU Baseball Analytics, we have the numbers to prove it. As provided by Sun Devil Baseball's Instagram, they have hit 14 bombs exceeding an exit velocity of 105 miles per hour, with 5 being over 110. ASU has also put the long ball with 9 homers eclipsing 420 feet, 3 of which were sent over 450 feet, which would be a home run in every MLB ballpark. One standout has to be sophomore Landon Hairston. Coach Bloomquist said last season Hairston's power needed to improve, and the sophomore has done that and then some. Hairston's 8 home runs have already doubled his 2025 total of 4, which he achieved in 35 fewer games. He is second on ASU in that category, only behind Dean Toigo with 9. In Game 2 of the LMU series, he hit a ball 460 feet, which was the 3rd longest in Phoenix municipal history, only behind 2 Brandon Compton bombs. Hairston has also added 3 grand slams to his resume this season. Oh, and don't forget, his .429 batting average is 2nd best in the Big 12. It's not hard to say that the Sun Devils have been crushing at an elite level. And if that power holds, they could ascend into another tier. Back to you guys.
The name Cole has existed for quite some time, but there's a lack of notable people with that title. You can reach and think Grammy Award-winning J. Cole, even though it's his last name. Maybe Cole Sprouse back to our childhood with Zach and Cody living the sweet life. ASU baseball now, though, has 2 dudes with that denomination, and they've dominated. Here's Brennan Bucher.
This season, the ASU baseball team has won a number of close games thanks to its pitching staff. Take last Sunday's 4-0 win over number 17 TCU, where Cole Klecker went 7 innings, fanning 7 on strikes, and only allowing 2 hits. Klecker, along with fellow starter Cole Carlone, have been 2 of the backbones of this Sun Devil staff. But what exactly makes them so dominant? It's all in the cards they deal to each batter each at bat. Take Cole Carlone. The lefty deals a lively four-seam fastball, slider, curveball, and changeup that are all a part of some of the best in college baseball. He can run the fastball up to 98 miles an hour and a slider that is in the high 80s thanks to its cutter-like movement. The curveball has 12-6 movement, and he tops off his mix with a changeup with a good bit of fade. That mix has led Carlone to have 40 strikeouts in just 26 innings of work, a strikeout figure which puts him tied 23rd in the NCAA. For Cole Klecker, the mix is a bit different. He features a four-seam fastball, cutter, slider, curveball, and the river, a sinker he can pull out when he needs to. The sinker has been a pitch that has been highly developed in pitching coach Jeremy Accardo's staff. In fact, the Sun Devils have a sinker fastball velocity average that is 8th best in Division I baseball. The Sun Devil pitching staff has been a welcome good this year, and anytime a batter awaits his hand from these dealers, the house typically has the advantage. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Brennan Bucher.
Birthdays in college are fun. You're coming of age, hanging out with your friends. I mean, shoot, I had my 21st birthday just last week over spring break, and let's say I got to celebrate. Well, it's WCSM baseball reporter Easton Stockford's birthday today, and he decided the perfect birthday bash for him was right here in Studio 6 talking ASU baseball.
Thanks, Jacob. Now, I know birthdays are fun and all, but what's a good birthday without a piñata? And that 9-inch, 5-ounce ball has been looking like a llama hanging from the string for the Sun Devils, who have been beating the guts out of it. As a team, ASU is making contact at an elite rate, hitting .336, ranking 13th nationally and 2nd in the Big 12. 3 players with over 50 at-bats have gift-wrapped hits with above a .380 average, with Landon Harrison ranking at a .429 mark, flirting with the country's top 50. But the non-stop knocks are just another candle and a new cake for head coach Willie Bloomquist and his squad, as they have finished in the country's top 15 for average in the last 2 seasons. The real shift has been their confetti-popping power. The Sun Devils ranked outside of the top 20 in slugging percentage 2 out of the last 3 seasons, but ranked 6th in the country thanks to a near 100-point improvement. They also ranked top 20 in runs per game, averaging nearly 3 more tallies than last year, 7th in home runs per game, blasting an extra party ball every time out, and scored the most runs in the program's last 21 years when they racked up 29 against LMU. Now that's aging like fine wine. The real question is if the Sun Devils can continue at this pace from game to game, week to week, and then, like a birthday, from year to year. The one thing that is certain about ASU's red-hot start is it's definitely been a party at Muni. Guys.
Happy birthday, Easton. Let's stick with the bat sports. We've got ASU softball taking on the Oklahoma State Cowgirls in a 3-game series last weekend. ASU's ace, Kenzie Brown, has a little bit of a hiccup there. That's a home run to deep center for Rosie Davis. Puts Oklahoma State up, but ASU answers right back. Brooklyn Ulrich, a 2-run homer of her own, knots this thing up, and it would stay knotted up into extra innings, Aiden, until Kaylee Pond. No doubt about that one. Look at how high that went. Off the wall, the walk-off gets ASU the win 3-2. Look at that Selly as she rounds the bases. Game 2, ASU looking to officially take the series, this one during the daytime sunshine. First inning, this game did not take nearly as long to get the scoring going. Here's Samantha Swan hitting it back towards the wall, 1 RBI double, but Oklahoma State answers back right away. Jael Austin, solo home run off of Mika Lupi, ties this one up 1-1, and then the 2 teams will go back and forth. We head into the bottom of the 6th inning when ASU blows it right open. Look at Ryan Brown's face right there. She knew that one was going over the wall. The second it left her bat, 5-4 the win, her home run making her the hero. ASU takes the series with that win, now looking for the series sweep, but it's Rosie Davis again. She had that home run on Friday. She gets a 2 RBI double here, says no thank you to ASU trying to take that sweep. Here in the 7th inning, this is the final punch out. Oklahoma State wins the final game 4-0, but ASU takes the series 2-1.
It's been tough sailing for Arizona State softball against the team down south. And another date with the Wildcats takes place this weekend. But the Devils have stolen away a lethal duo from their arch nemesis. And that could be the difference. Ashton Sharon tells us why.
The past 3 seasons against in-state rivals Arizona has been daunting, to say the least, for Arizona State. Sun Devil softball has won just twice in 9 matchups over that span. However, lucky for them, they pried away 2 former Wildcats in junior catcher Emily Shep and senior left-handed pitcher Aisa Silva. Before joining the Sun Devils, Silva pitched 14 2/3 innings against the Maroon and Gold, allowing just 1 run. Her counterpart, Shep, hit .500 against the Sun Devils in the Wildcats sweep of the Territorial Cup matchup back in 2024. This season, Silva and Shep's production has not slowed down. Through 54 1/3 innings, Silva has a career-low mark at a 3.22 ERA, while striking out 40 batters and pitching a complete game, a feat which she has done just twice prior. Shep has emerged as a consistent mainstay in ASU coach Megan Bartlett's lineup, with Bartlett even saying she's learning more about Shep every time she steps onto the field. Shep is on pace for a career high in on-base percentage, OPS, and slugging. Shep has a career high in walks with 10 and is hitting .289 at the plate while committing just 1 error. The Sun Devils will rely on the veteran experience of the 2 former Wildcat transfers to look to win a series against their in-state rivals for the first time in the Megan Bartlett timeline. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Ashton Sharon.
Well, it's 103 degrees in Phoenix right now, and while many are trying to take a getaway to escape the heat wave, our Mahala Reynolds and Ava Barheit decided to go to another city that's actually just as hot, Tucson. Why? Oh, because ASU softball is taking on Arizona in a high-stakes ranked Territorial Cup matchup. Yeah, that makes some sense. Guys, what do you got?
Yeah, Jacob, it is hot out here, and I'm not going to lie, I'm a little bit jealous of you guys in that air-conditioned studio, but Ava and I are sticking it out. We did manage to find just a little bit of shade outside of Rita Hillebrand Stadium, where in just a couple hours, number 24, Arizona State, is going to take on number 11, Arizona, in the first game of the Territorial Cup Series. Now, this is an important game for both of these teams, but Ava, what can we expect to see from Arizona State tonight?
Yeah, Mahala, so Arizona State has started this season off strong, going 19-3 in non-conference play before going into conference play in the Big 12 2 weeks ago now. But we've been seeing inconsistent play so far, getting swept in the series against Utah and then winning a series the next week against Oklahoma State. And you know what, Mahala, ASU hasn't won a Territorial Cup since 2022, about 4 years ago, and it's been a story of close calls for this team so far this season. So we'll see how ASU manages going into the series with Arizona.
For sure, it definitely will be interesting, and it'll be interesting to see how this pitching staff is used. Now, it's still spearheaded by All-American Kenzie Brown and Big 12 Pitcher of the Week, Mika Lupe, but they've gained two stronger arms in comparison to last year in Aisa Silva and Mary Payton Hodge, and it seems like Megan Bartlett is still trying to find her groove with who to put in the circle. A good example of this is in that Utah series. Kenzie Brown wasn't utilized in any of those games, and Arizona State did end up losing. So I'll be interested to see how Megan Bart utilizes this pitching staff and hopes to capitalize on Arizona's weaknesses to win the series. Guys.
On the field, Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson catapulted ASU football into prominence. On the hardwood, Mo Odom and Masamba Diop got the Sun Devil faithful talking. And now, a duo on the tennis court is taking center stage in Tempe. Our Xavier Maserati has more.
The number 13 Arizona State women's tennis team have found themselves a devilish duo. One half of the duo is undefeated, and the other half is a top 25 singles player in the nation. The duo I'm talking about, none other than Vivian Ovrutsky and Amelia Verginate. This season, Ovrutsky is a perfect 13-0 in singles matches. She serves as the number 3 singles player on the team and has won 26 of her 27 sets on the year. Dating back to the beginning of the individual season in the fall, the University of Texas transfer has a whopping 81% win rate with 25 matches won in singles. Additionally, she was ranked number 118 in the collegiate ITA singles rankings out of approximately 3,000 players. Speaking of rankings, the other half of this duo is quite familiar with these rankings. Verginate is currently ranked 22nd in the collegiate ITA singles rankings and has posted a 9-2 record on the season. Since the fall, Verginate has set a career high for wins, and she added her 25th in ASU's recent win against its biggest rival, the University of Arizona. Verginate helped clinch 2 victories for the Sun Devils this year against Texas Tech and Tulsa. As well, she helped ASU upset Pepperdine early in the year with her win in 3 sets against number 23 ranked Jiva Faulkner. This duo is nothing short of devilish, and they will continue to torment anyone who steps on their court. These two hope to keep up what has already been a strong season for the Sun Devils. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Xavier Maserati.
Arizona State football is back in action. Well, kind of. Spring practices started up yesterday for a squad that'll be searching for a new identity, with 9 of the 11 players on its last year Pat Tillman Leadership Council departing. For more on what the first page of Kenny Dillingham's 4th Sun Devil chapter looked like, here's our Mia Bensich out at the practice fields.
Spring football has arrived here in Tempe, and day one marks the beginning of a new chapter for the Sun Devils. With fresh faces and position battles already heating up, the competition is just getting started.
Day one of spring camp brought energy to the Kajikawa practice fields as players began building towards the 2026 season. This with a transfer class ranked top 15 nationally, adding depth and competition across the roster.
It's day one. Everybody brings it day one. Like I told the guys in meetings, I'm not judging how you practice today. I'm not. I want to see how consistent you are.
That expectation is setting the tone early in camp, especially with so many new faces adjusting to the system. For players, every rep now carries the weight as they work to separate themselves.
Go find the plays that you remember you did something wrong on, watch those first, right? Watch this tape and try to see progress, not praise.
That message is already translating onto the field where players are focused on improvement rather than immediate results. It's an approach shaping both the pace and mindset of day one.
I think everybody's mindset was in a good spot. Everybody came out here ready to work, not trying to take a day off, not thinking just because we're not in pads, I don't show out.
As competition builds, maintaining that same energy throughout spring will be key. It's something the coaching staff believes will define how this team performs when the pressure rises.
We got to become a team that can perform in the biggest moments. You know, year two, we were that. We won in the fourth quarter. Last year, we were 50-50 in those big moments. We got to get back to winning those big moments. That's what wins games.
As Coach Dillingham mentioned, it's only just the beginning, with plenty to be proven in weeks ahead. From the Kajikawa practice fields, I'm Mia Bensich.
The journey of Bobby Hurley has officially come to a close, and characterizing his time in Tempe as a roller coaster would be putting it lightly. After 11 years, though, you wonder how one of the most iconic faces in college basketball will be remembered. Our Jaden Ricken takes a look.
With the sun now set on Bobby Hurley's tenure at ASU, the dawn of a new era awaits. But was his stay in Tempe as rough as it may be remembered? Well, to figure that out, you have to go back to when he was still on top. It was April 9th, 2015 when ASU announced Hurley would take over, and expectations were through the roof as he promised to put the program back in the national spotlight. Although climbing that mountain would be easier said than done. His first 2 seasons ended with losing records, but the third time was the charm. And on December 10th, 2017, the Devils upset number 2 Kansas, propelling the team to a hot 12-0 start. And it was that season when Hurley finally delivered a trip to March Madness. Unfortunately for him, the run was short-lived as ASU fell 60-56 to Syracuse in the first 4. But now even more determined, ASU geared up to make the climb again in 2018. And this time, Hurley and company moved past their first game by defeating St. John's. And the next, they hit a roadblock though, losing to Buffalo, Hurley's former team. From there on, it felt like the program started heading downhill. The 2019 season was shaping up to be one of Hurley's best, but the postseason was canceled due to COVID-19. And in the following 2 seasons, ASU would produce losing records and miss the tournament. After this drought, Hurley rebuilt and put together the team's best chance yet in 2023. Heading into March, they blew through Nevada with record-tying numbers, and that almost pulled it off until they lost to number 6 TCU in the final seconds, 72-70. Things only got worse following ASU's move to the Big 12 in 2024, resulting in the program's worst record since 2011 at 14-18. In his final season, Hurley did what he could, but aside from a few late-season upsets, the team never had enough to reach the mountaintop, as his tenure officially came to an end with a 91-42 loss to Iowa State in the Big 12 tournament. Which brings us to today, where the story of Bobby Hurley at ASU is remembered more for its ending than its beginning. A story of failed promises. For Cronkite Sports, I'm Jaden Ricken.
With the 11 years of the Bobby Hurley era in the rearview mirror, it's time for ASU men's basketball to look at that road ahead. To break down what options the Sun Devils could have for their next head coach, we welcome in our WCSN Hoops reporter Tyler Weiss. And Tyler, Graham Rossini has made 4 head coaching hires during his nearly 2 years running the show for the Sun Devils. What could he be looking for in this hire?
Yeah, Jacob, ASU Athletic Director Graham Rossini is looking for the next guy to elevate this program. And for Rossini, there is a very specific search criteria. He said, quote, "It's got to be somebody that understands what ASU is." And that could be Portland State head coach Jace Coburn. Coburn's a Valley native who went to high school in Tempe and then graduated as Sun Devil all the way back in 2006. Under him, the Vikings have seen 2 top 3 seasons for wins over the last 17 years. And these last 2 seasons as head coach, he has gone 39 and 24 over that span. Now, this next candidate is a bit of an under-the-radar name, but Sun Devil fans are very familiar with him. UC Santa Barbara assistant head coach Derek Glasser. Glasser is ASU's all-time assist leader with 551 career assists. And his experience as an NBA agent stands out in particular because in this NIL era, programs are always looking to gain any edge they can get.
That's right, Tyler, and those 2 guys are definitely possibilities, but based off of numerous reports, there are 2 candidates that have a little bit of an edge. Who are those guys?
Well, let's throw in another local tie from the Valley, this time from Mesa, Arizona. St. Mary's head coach Randy Bennett. Rossini is casting a wide net, and Bennett could be the big fish. He's been the Gales head coach since 2001, before I was even born. He has accumulated a program most 589 wins. However, it's worth noting that under him, St. Mary's is 7-12 in the tournament, and this includes last night's 13-point loss to Texas A&M. This next coach isn't an Arizona local, but he did grow up in Mobile, Alabama, the same hometown as Rossini. Last year, as the head coach of UC San Diego, Eric Olin came oh so close to upsetting Michigan in the NCAA tournament. He then went to New Mexico, where it took him no time to find success as he coached the Lobos to a 24-10 record in his first season, and his energy paired with his track record as a program builder could make Rossini all in on Olin.
Thank you for your time and insight, Tyler. The ball is officially in Graham Rossini's court, and we'll all keep waiting patiently to see when the move will get made.
Despite a promising start for Griston Gladfelter's Sand Devils, Arizona State struggled with top competition over the past week, now creating question marks surrounding the team's true talent. But one thing, their mindset, it hasn't wavered.
Not thinking so much about like the winning and focusing a lot on the process. That's something we preach a lot in our program. Like we just want to see things done the right way, and we feel like the outcome.
Focus on the process rather than the outcome. That mindset earned the Sand Devils 10 straight wins to start the season, but a rocky stretch in Manhattan Beach spoiled the perfect record. Over spring break, ASU faced 3 top 10 opponents, including number 1 UCLA, and unfortunately, it fell to all of them. Now, on the surface, the performance does not look promising, but this is actually part of Gladfelter's plan. You see, having difficult ranked matchups week after week pushes a team to the limit, allowing growth to flourish within the program. While the Sun Devil pairs are still developing chemistry with new faces and roles being displayed, competing against the very best is surely going to highlight some weaknesses. But Gladfelter would much rather hone in on those mistakes now than cruise through lesser competition and learn the hard way in the postseason. ASU currently sits 10th in the AVCA coaches poll, just 2 spots down from where it entered the tournament, and with a 6-3 record against top 20 teams so far, the Sun Devils prove that they can compete with the very best. With plenty of ranked duels still ahead, this team is far from finished. Guys,
time now for some top plays. Let's go back to some history being made for ASU softball at number 5. That's Ace Kenzie Brown's 500th career strikeout.
She's an animal, always bringing it. You know who else has won? Cole Klecker, the former TCU Horned Frog, now in Tempe, the Chandler native, 7 innings, 7 punch-outs, the forks up coming off the mound.
And Aiden, we talked about how ASU women's basketball season came to an end. Well, 2 ladies who didn't want it to end were McKenna Brackens and Marley Washington's. That steal and then the fadeaway in the left corner tied the game late, but they couldn't get it done.
All right, number 2, we saw it once, see it again. Kaylee Pond, deep to right center. If it wasn't for the obstruction, that ball may have not landed yet. Yeah. Ends the game, Arizona State Diamond Sports on a heater.
And Aiden, we loved walk-offs so much, we had to show you another one that was just as wild for number 1. It's Nikolai sending Dominic Smaldino home. Look at him rounding those bases. Gets ASU the extra innings Tuesday night midweek win against the Grand Canyon University Lopes. And Aiden, that'll just about do it for this episode of Cronkite Sports Live. We missed so much over the spring break. Bobby Hurley gets fired. ASU women's basketball makes a run into March Madness. It feels like so much happened, but now with bat sports fully into the swing of things, I'm excited for this back half of the year.
There's no doubt, and we'll see how ASU baseball fares at Kansas State. ASU softball, as you just saw, big bout against their arch rivals down south. Big time of the year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens, but that'll do it for this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. For our executive producer, Ratisha Tacker, everybody who helped out behind the scenes, everybody who came in studio and had a segment, we're all saying so long from Studio 6, and we'll see you next week.